Here, huge day in recruiting for LSU yesterday. Another one for Brad Davis.
Another one.
As Brad Davis, the LSU offensive line coach, flexes as the offensive line room gets bigger, literally, as they pick up a 2025 prospect in Calvary Baptist offensive lineman Devin Harper. He is one of the top offensive linemen in the country for the 2025 cycle. A 4-star prospect. Came to Baton Rouge this past weekend. He was in town with his mom. Things went great with both he and his mom, and he pledged to LSU on Tuesday. So Harper put out on social media saying that Saturday was great. It was the first time his mom went with him to LSU, and they impressed her. As far as me, the message is still I'm a priority, a huge priority, and LSU feels like a second home right now for him. When I go there, I'm very comfortable, feel like I'm around family and the whole staff. Right now, he is a top 200 prospect in the country. He's the number 14 interior offensive lineman, the number 5 prospect in Louisiana for the class of 2025. And this class is really coming together in adding Harper. And his running back, James Simon, who Stewie and I were in the Dome for a lot of the games, and obviously Trey'Dez Green picked up a lot of attention for his output over in the Superdome. Simon was up there as maybe the most impressive prospect over the couple of days stretch there in the Superdome. Calvary Baptist is running back, and he is now trending towards LSU as well. You've already got Harlan Berry committed to the class. So good news for LSU in recruiting as the Tigers just keep on reeling them in, especially on the offensive line standpoint. I mean, it feels like we've talked about it so many times.
It keeps coming up.
I mean, how incredible Brad Davis and Brian Kelly, what they have done to this offensive line room is
this
amazing.
thing was in 2021. You go back and it was. Let's find one. Like, can somebody up the street play offensive line? Because we had Liam Shanahan playing center.
And had to have him.
Had to have him. Must have.
I remember us doing shows in 2021 where it was, I don't know if you can find 5 warm bodies. Oh, that's fine.
Was it?
Yeah, that is fun.
Was it Garrett?
Kangaroo Court.
Was it Dellinger that they kept moving around and making him play, and he was playing hurt? And he
Yeah,
was just
Dellinger played hurt.
You're the best offensive lineman we got, dog.
He was more hurt than Tommy White was during the College World Series run.
I mean, they had to talk him out of surgery.
Yeah,
Garrett,
that he probably needed.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Can you put on 2 shoulder braces
and play offensive line?
I mean, he looked at him between him and Austin DeCalculus as just the 2 bionic men out there, taped from wrist to ankle, of just roll him out there and then just stand. Please get in the way. And now you have a class where you have 5 stars leaving.
Well, I mean, and don't even feel it.
Right.
I mean, for as huge and big as a pickup as Lance Hurd was, and again, don't let me undersell how, I mean, you're a better football team with Lance Hurd on the roster than you are without him. To lose him is just it's not as a big of a deal as you would think it would be, just because of the room, the way that they're recruiting, the way that they are reloading. I mean, the guys, it's almost like you've lost count. I mean, when you look at the room, you'd be like, oh my God, I forgot about him. You know what I mean? When they walk out there for the first day of fall practice, you'd be like, oh, I mean, totally forgot about Ethan Callaway.
I did.
You know what I mean? Jeez. Joseph Cryer. Damn. I mean, they are cleaning up.
And it's everywhere.
I mean, I can't watch enough of the Weston Banks basketball highlights.
You might have time.
I mean, this guy, man. I mean, and then Devin Harper, his highlight film. I mean, he pancaked some kid in a playoff game, and then just sits on his head.
That's called the Snuddy coach.
I mean,
got the big Snuddy.
There cannot be anything more demeaning
no.
on a football field
I want to say
than to just have somebody sitting on top. I mean, he's almost got his arms folded.
I want to say that
gives him the grundle.
Yeah, but I want to say that was against Bird. And one of my friends is actually the D-line coach at Bird.
Oh, no.
So, does he have a job?
The kid, if I'm the D-line kid, I might be hitting the transfer portal. I need that tape scrub.
I'm learning how to play an instrument.
He got the old school Halo online treatment.
I mean, Harper is an animal. He's enormous.
But if you go through just the 2023 class, Lance Hurd, obviously that was the biggest recruit, and he's hitting the transfer portal and is going to Tennessee, who's in some hot water right now. DJ Tester, Tyree Adams, Paul Mubenga, who we don't even talk about.
Yeah, right, and they love him.
Love him.
They love him.
And Connor Gilbreth. And then you go on to 2024.
Gilbreth was a tight end, wasn't he?
Right.
Yeah.
But I think converted.
Right. Yeah.
They kind of use him in that.
And then 2024, you just could go down the line of O-line, where it is just anybody and everybody that you could have, where you almost have Kyrie Lee, Ethan Callaway, Joseph Cryer. Like, the list goes on. Ori Williams.
I forgot about him.
Exactly. Like, the list is long for what LSU is building on the offensive line, and you're starting to see the shift, right? I think you saw it last year from from defense to offense, especially along the interior, where you are absolutely loaded. Because those early, ever since my eyes could watch LSU football, it was defensive line.
Yeah.
That's all you thought about. Now it has turned into an absolute machine on the offensive line.
What the offensive line is at LSU, it's amazing.
I'm watching these highlights, and he is.
Which one?
Devin Harper. Jesus.
Have you seen the one of him sitting on the kid's head yet?
No, but I'm saying he's sitting on everybody's head.
Did I call him Weston Banks? Weston Davis. My bad, Weston.
He is every clip is him pancaking somebody.
Oh yeah, but
don't let him get to the second level. It's nasty. Like I'm hunting safeties.
But this is why Bryce Underwood tweeted out after the commitment, where he just sent like the smiling emoji or whatever, where he was like, "This is part of the reason I'm committed to LSU." You could put five.
Has to be.
If you put five in front of me where I got all day,
it has.
It's going to be like it was in high school, where I don't have to really worry about leaving the pocket, but I'm sure they're going to utilize his legs. But that's such a comfortability factor of being able to, I trust all five in front of me. I'm not going to get touched.
And if you lose one, you got depth.
Right.
The offensive, that's the difference.
Absolutely.
It's just the numbers. The amount of guys that can play at this level that they have recruited at it's amazing, man. And we talked about it last week. Lamar Brown is a 5-star at U High. He's on threes prospects have come out. He's a top 5 prospect in the country.
But is he an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman?
I think they don't know yet.
For LSU, I think
I would think LSU would be a defensive lineman, right?
I would think for LSU it would be a defensive lineman.
Him and Jakeem Stewart would be that's dream class, right? 2026. Him, Jakeem Stewart, and Blaine Bradford.
Oh, you got to get all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Got to get Jakeem.
Yeah.
With the recruiting staff you have, but because now, Bo Davis, the word, they recruit off of competition.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make things competitive within groups.
Compete,
as
coach.
Talented as he's got to be looking at Brad Davis and saying, "I'm coming for you." That's got to be the standard of what your room is supposed to look like at LSU, where you've got just decorated depth, just guys that you can look at and say, 4-star, all-state, state champ, leader, captain, whatever it may be. All of these guys come in with a resume that make them feel like they can play. That room has transformed as fast and as impressively as any room I can recall at LSU as far as recruiting. What Brad Davis was given and what he has now built is a masterpiece of recruiting, development, and the offensive line. They were a Joe Moore Award finalist this season. They will. It feels like be in that conversation
every season
for the next 4 or 5 years with the way that they've recruited. So congratulations to Brad Davis, the offensive staff, everybody involved with adding another piece to the offensive line, and Devin Harper, and more importantly, a state prospect, somebody from Louisiana. A guy from up north in Louisiana at Calvary Baptist, and one of the state's top players. And LSU has to land him. They did. So good on the staff for being able to close on that one, and keep your eyeballs peeled for more, because Terry Bussey is coming to town. here. He's set to make an announcement in the next couple of weeks with signing day looming. So LSU still in a couple of fights with some big-time recruits, according to the class of 2024 still coming up. So a lot of recruiting news still out there.